Welcome to Osh TV. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden forces shaping our planet right beneath our feet. You might think a place like Australia is geologically stable, but stunning new scientific discoveries reveal a surprising amount of stress building deep underground. Plus, we'll explore how continents like Africa and Turkey are quietly and dramatically changing over millions of years. Stay tuned as we uncover these fascinating geological insights and what they mean for our future. Australia often feels like one of the safest places on Earth when it comes to natural disasters. There are no massive volcanoes, no giant fault lines tearing through cities, and hardly any frequent earthquakes. On the surface, Australia looks steady, solid, and unbreakable. But recent research tells a completely different story. A brand new global map measuring stress in the Earth's crust reveals that Australia is actually one of the most stressed land masses in the world. Now, this stress isn't causing big earthquakes or visible cracks just yet, but it's quietly building up energy underground like a bent ruler that's ready to snap back. To understand why, imagine the Earth's crust as a giant jigsaw puzzle made of tectonic plates that are constantly moving and pushing against each other. Normally, earthquakes and volcanic activity happen at the edges of these plates, but stress can also build up deep inside the plates themselves. Scientists gathered over 100,000 measurements from places like oil wells, rock tests, and recorded earthquakes to create an incredibly detailed stress map. When they put all the data together, Australia stood out. Despite being far from any plate boundaries, it's being squeezed from different directions by nearby tectonic plates, especially the massive Pacific and Eurasian plates. Because this stress is trapped inside the continent and doesn't have an easy way to release, it just quietly accumulates over time. One of the most unusual findings came from Australia's Bowen Basin, where the underground stress directions twist and rotate in unpredictable ways. This creates a potentially dangerous situation because the stress could cause new cracks or faults to form suddenly and unexpectedly. While Australia's underground stress might sound like a distant, slow-building threat, it becomes much more important when we consider how our own human activities interact with these natural forces. Drilling deep into the Earth for resources like geothermal energy or injecting fluids underground for industrial purposes can subtly disturb these already stressed zones. Even small changes caused by human intervention can nudge faults that are already on the edge of slipping, potentially triggering earthquakes or ground shifts. This means that places once considered geologically safe may actually carry hidden risks we didn't know about. The traditional idea that Australia is a stable, unbreakable continent really needs an update. With this new stress map, scientists can now identify areas where underground tension is at its highest. This helps guide safer decisions about where to drill, build tunnels, or place important infrastructure. This knowledge is absolutely crucial for minimizing future damage and protecting communities from unforeseen events. Australia's story is a powerful reminder that even continents far from active plate boundaries are not immune to Earth's dynamic internal forces. Unlike the visible shaking we see near plate edges, stress inside a continent builds silently over time, making it incredibly hard to predict when or where it might suddenly release. This is why researchers emphasize the importance of monitoring stress directions underground, what they call SH max. This shows the main horizontal squeezing force in the crust. If this stress lines up perfectly with existing cracks or faults, it increases the chance of an earthquake. But if the stress crosses old fault lines at new angles, it can create entirely new fractures, changing the geology beneath our feet in ways we don't yet fully understand. The unpredictability of these underground forces challenges scientists and engineers to rethink how we prepare for geological hazards in the future. In the coming years, as Australia develops more energy projects and underground infrastructure, combining these new stress maps with careful planning will be essential to keeping the country safe from unexpected geological surprises. Now, while Australia quietly stores up all this underground stress, Africa shows us a much more dramatic example of how continents can slowly pull apart over millions of years. The East African Rift System, one of the largest rift zones on Earth, is a giant tier running through countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique. Unlike the squeezing seen in Australia, this region is being stretched and pulled apart, creating a slow but steady rift in the continent's crust. This rifting process means that Africa is no longer one solid tectonic plate. Instead, it is slowly split into two major pieces, the Nubian plate in the west and the Somali plate in the east. These plates are drifting away from each other at a rate that might seem tiny, less than an inch per year, about the same speed your fingernails grow. But over millions of years, that slow movement really adds up. It thins the crust and could eventually open up enough space for seawater to flood in, forming a brand new ocean basin. Back in 2018, dramatic photos of a large crack that appeared in Kenya captured global attention, with headlines screaming that Africa was splitting in half. While this surface rupture was a striking visual, it's really just a tiny moment in a much longer story. Scientists have been studying this rift for about 25 million years, measuring how the Earth's surface stretches and thins as part of this ongoing continental breakup. If the rifting continues, future generations, perhaps many millions of years from now, may witness the formation of a brand new ocean where land once existed. This process, though incredibly slow from a human perspective, is a natural part of Earth's constant reshaping. It reminds us that our continents are not permanent fixtures, but temporary arrangements that change over vast geological timescales. The East African Rift System offers a clear, living example of how tectonic forces can slowly rewrite the map of our world. While Australia stores hidden stress and Africa slowly tears itself apart, Turkey faces an incredibly complex tectonic puzzle where multiple plates collide and stretch the land in different ways all at once. Located right at the crossroads of the Arabian, Eurasian, and African tectonic plates, Turkey sits on a smaller landmass called the Anatolian Plate. This plate is being squeezed and pushed westward, kind of like toothpaste being squeezed out of a tube, creating intense underground stress across the entire region. Recent studies using these new stress maps have revealed that the main direction of this squeezing force perfectly loads Turkey's major fault lines, increasing the risk of earthquakes. However, new research on ancient lava flows near one of these faults, called the Too's Gel Fault, has shown some surprising behavior. Instead of just sliding sideways as many scientists expected, the fault is also slowly ripping open, pulling the land apart at a rate of less than an inch per year. This slow rifting process stretches and thins the crust over thousands and millions of years, gradually changing the landscape in ways that are completely invisible to us day to day. Because Turkey lies where three massive tectonic plates meet, these changes could have impacts that extend far beyond the region, influencing the geology and seismic risks of a much wider area. To understand this, scientists use amazing tools like microscopic zircon crystals trapped inside ancient lava. These tiny crystals help them date eruptions and understand how the land has deformed over time. Combined with modern satellite imagery and remote sensing, this research offers a unique window into how continents deform not just by colliding or sliding, but sometimes by stretching until they finally break. Turkey's geological story is another powerful reminder that our continents are never static. Even places that look calm on the surface may be under constant, invisible strain, slowly rewriting Earth's map inch by inch, year by year. Understanding these hidden forces helps us all plan better for the future. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into Earth's hidden geology as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Osh TV for more deep dives into our amazing world. We'll see you in the next video.